the whole nation witnessed the difference between what Jay is and what Jay could be.
Jay Cutler is number one in two important categories. He makes more money than any NFL quarterback this season, some $22 million, and he's number one in turnovers with the 3 picks again tonight.
Wow.
Wow. Which one, the contract or the turnovers?
Wow. So, and I've thought about this a couple of times, and I ran it by the guys because I'm trying to figure this out. So, all the talent in the world, I don't care how far you can throw the ball, I don't care how fast you can run. Who made this decision when you saw this guy to say, my future, our future, the Chicago Bears future, the historic future, on what we put together, I'm going to give a guy $100 million. And now I'm looking to shop this same guy. All I'm asking is, who made this decision? Who looked at this talent and said, that's the guy that can lead us to the promised land? Because I saw this formula before. I saw this formula years ago with the Baltimore Ravens when we won a Super Bowl with the man that was standing next to me. But then we removed him and looked at another guy, Elvis Grbac. What did you see in him that made you believe he could take our franchise back to another championship? Albert Hainsworth leaves Tennessee and then goes to the Washington Redskins, supposed to be the savior to change that around. What is it that you see? So now we have to really readdress who's bringing these people in, who's giving this money to somebody. I don't know if Jay Cutler's proven. I've never saw Jay Cutler prove nothing that speaks $100 million. I don't count a man's money. But when we talk about production, when we're talking about getting rid of a man that we just gave $100+ million in January, and now we ain't even to the next January, and now you already talking about getting them out of the house.
It's tough to be a general manager in this league, but I think it goes back to the quarterback position.
He said we not even to the next January.
You have to lock him up to not be
that's the problem.
The other half.
That's the problem with Jay Cutler. Yeah. You look at him and say, you know what? We can mold him. You know, it's like a $6 million man. We can replay it. We can do this. We can create this guy. Look at what we're working with. It's look at all the roots of what we can do this. And so what Christmas said, he can do this. And then we magically watch a couple years go by when it's there's a couple times I say, geez, if he could just do this all the time. But he only does it a little at the time. And that's the problem. And there's not enough guys around that have played long enough that you say, I want to bring somebody else in. That's not Jay. Keep hanging around because there's not. Well, what's the alternative?
Well, I think it is one step further. He keeps hanging around because our league is still enamored with this old school philosophy of quarterback evaluation, height, weight, arm strength, and it gives you that. They haven't. I know it kills you, but it creates this long leash for these guys to have a physical skill set that allows them to have these high ceiling plays. The wow factor, and you go, oh my gosh, if I could get that, I could have the best guy in the league. And they forget that. And you talk the boring stuff. We talked about the pregame, the processing, the fast twitch thinking, the leadership. The over my dead body mentality, the stuff that goes on Monday through Saturday, the stuff that's unseen, and maybe you can't. They're missing that on so many guys.
Can it be fixed here? Can Jay Cutler work here in Chicago? Or we're talking, you want to talk about the general manager. You want to clean house? You want Trestman gone?
The problem coordinators is that he is bought in. We've heard this from Mark. The inside scoop. Jay bought into the system. He believes in Mark, what he's calling, what he's doing. Except what Trent's point is, it takes a lot of boring, monotonous back, April, May, June, sitting in classrooms, going over coverages, going over blitzes, how that reflects to protection, and then you get that so that's reflexive recall. You see it so many times in the spring that by the time the summer comes, you name anything. I know it like the back of my hand, like Drew Brees does, like Tom Brady does, like Peyton Manning does, like Aaron Rodgers does.
You know what he's talking about.
One of those guys, which if you asked him on a lie detector, he'd say, I want to be that. He'd pass. He wants to be that guy, but unfortunately, that time that needs to be spent doesn't get done, and it reflects itself on the game. You look at his footwork. His footwork is all over the place. We've been begging him for 8 years to get your footwork set up. Believe that that's a big part of delivering the ball from the pocket.
Steve Young know what he's talking about.
And here we are.
Man, I like to find talent. I promise you, it can only take you so far. I just love to find people that a leader is born from his heart. Leaders lead from their heart.
Speak.
Leaders don't lead from talent.
Speak.
Most of the time, talent had to be nurtured a certain way, man. When you watch
We know what you mean.
There's nothing that
Preach.
speaks leadership. I'm just speaking pure facts about what
Preach.
I'm saying. There's no way this is the leader of your team. If I'm
Trying to
going
video.
down leadership,
Speak.
I'm not going down like that.
Speak it.
I'm going down rah-rah, and I'm getting everybody
Rah-rah.
because that's why you do it.
That's how you do it.
You do it so that your
Tell 'em,
teammates
Ray.
appreciate why you do it.
Appreciate.
Not your head every time you don't complete a pass.
Tell him, Ray.
I'm telling you, it speaks volumes.
Tell him. Speak. Don't cut him off. Let him talk.
That's why it is maddening.
Yeah.
No, it's in them. I know it is. And Trent, I know you wonder about that.
People are going to lose their jobs before they get out of him.
Way before. Exactly, way before.
Part of it feels bad. Part of this too is I hope that we're not criticizing the person.
No, not at all.
The player.
Not
Because
even.
I will say this: is Steve and I have really looked into this. Jay's a good person.
We want
Jay is trying.
We're also invested in
There's a want to there. There's been a change in Jay Cutler Monday through Saturday.
Right.
The problem and the hard truth is that when it crosses this white line right here, it doesn't transfer from the building where we're hearing he's killing it. He's doing great on the board. He's bought in. It's not crossing this white line, and I lived it. And the sad thing, I lived early in my career where I could kill it in Monday through Saturday. Had all the answers to the test. Supreme confidence. And something happened when I crossed the line. It didn't process the same as it did in the meeting room, and I gotta believe that's what's happening to Jay.
Don't shortchange yourself. Come on. We're going to talk about the other quarterback, the winning quarterback. We'll hear from Drew Brees.
That's
coming
it,
up on
man.
SportsCenter. Who are these Saints?
That's it.
Who lost 4